This is Countryside News Channel, your official online and cable news channel, giving you the latest information from the province of Lanao del Norte. Countryside News Channel.
Madam Speaker, next to avail of the privilege hour is the Honorable Mohamad Khalid Q. Dimaporo of the 1st District of Lanao del Norte. I move that we recognize him to deliver his speech on remembering the August 2008 MILF attack on Lanao del Norte.
Any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Representative Dimaporo of the 1st District of Lanao del Norte is recognized. Please proceed.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Madam Speaker, Majority Leader, colleagues of the 17th Congress, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. The purpose of my privileged speech today is my province's unforgettable experience with the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, the 2008 MOA AD attack on the municipalities of Culambugan and Kauswagan, Lanao del Norte. To begin with, Lanao del Norte is a province located in northern Mindanao and is composed of 22 municipalities, 300,000 hectares, and a population of more than 400,000 that is predominantly Christian with a 30% Muslim minority. The province prides itself in its culture of peace. The slogan, "The Land of Beauty and Bounty," is used because of its bountiful agriculture and the natural beauty of its tourist attractions. But to locals, what is distinctly beautiful in Lanao del Norte is our culture of unity. The ability for Muslims and Christians to coexist harmoniously with one another. However, when the name Lanao del Norte is spoken, the common response is fear, a war-torn province. This is because of the ongoing struggle with armed conflict between the national government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. The Moro Islamic Liberation Front was established in 1984. The rebellion against the government is based on the ideology that emphasizes independence from the Philippine Republic and establishment of an Islamist state and full application of Sharia law. Their forces were initially small in comparison to their mother organization, the Moro National Liberation Front. But when the MNLF peace agreement was signed in 1996, disgruntled members of the MNLF joined the MILF. In addition, the MILF intensified recruitment, established camps and bases, and increased their armaments, ammunition, and quickly became the dominant insurgent group in Mindanao. In 1997, towards the end of the Ramos administration, the government succeeded in signing a ceasefire agreement with the MILF. But on the year 2000, there was an encounter in Kauswagan, Lanao del Norte. A military patrol was met with fire from an MILF contingent, which resulted in soldiers losing their lives. Then a few days later, Commander Bravo led more than 500 MILF fighters to occupy the Municipal Hall of Kauswagan and block the Iligan Pagadian National Highway. This prompted President Erap Estrada to declare all-out war. After several weeks of fighting, the all-out war of President Estrada was deemed successful. But many criticized the campaign, in that although the military succeeded in capturing MILF bases, they failed to deplete the MILF ranks. A sizable force of MILF rebels went into hiding, were able to relocate their bases, and recruit more fighters. The attack of the MILF on Kauswagan, Lanao del Norte was our first major experience of conflict with this armed group. Commander Bravo and his men made a very clear message to the government that they are capable of occupying government facilities and shutting down vital road networks. Upon the assumption of the Arroyo administration, the government returned to the negotiation table and discussed a peace settlement with the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. On 2008, the peace panel reached a breakthrough on the stalled negotiations and signed the Memorandum of Agreement for Ancestral Domain, or MOA AD. The MOA AD received political backlash. Rallies were held across Mindanao opposing the agreement. But in Lanao del Norte, we supported the peace initiatives of the administration. No rallies were conducted throughout the province, in contrast to Iligan City. Military intelligence suggested the strong possibility that Iligan City will be attacked by the MILF because of their vocal opposition to MOA AD. The brigade repositioned their forces as a contingency. 1 battalion was dedicated to protect Iligan City. 1 battalion was dedicated to protect Lanao del Norte. On August 4, 2008, the Supreme Court issued a TRO against MOA AD. Rumors in the province spread of large groups of armed men gathering in the interior municipality of Munay. In response, the capital convened the Peace and Order Council on August 7, 2008. The AFP battalion commander assured the council that the military was more than ready in the event that the MILF attacks. He also stated that they were in contact with their MILF counterparts and that the rumors of MILF movement in Munay is simply a training exercise. After a lengthy deliberation, the battalion commander closed the Peace and Order Council with a lasting statement. Hindi kayo mamatay sa gera, mamatay kayo sa sobrang stress sa text. Within 24 hours later, on August 8, 2008, the AFP was proven wrong. The MILF had already converged in Munay, which they used as a staging point. At the break of dawn, when enough fighters have amassed from Lanao del Sur, they marched down around 500 heading to the coastal town of Kauswagan and an estimated 300 crossing the adjacent interior municipality of Tangkal and down to the coastal town of Kulambugan. In Kulambugan, the MILF entered through Barangay Pantar. One of the households to first encounter the MILF was a man in his mid-20s. He thought they were AFP and went out of his house to greet them, only to be greeted in return with assault rifle fire. His sister quickly grabbed her kids and hid under their makeshift house, waiting for the MILF to pass as her brother's blood seeped through their bamboo flooring. The MILF proceeded towards the national highway, burning homes as they passed. One of those houses was burned thoroughly, leaving only the foundation and the white shadow of a couple in front of their altar of Mother Mary. When the people realized they were under attack, the barangay tanods and the PNP scrambled to react. One tanod was able to take down members of the MILF with his firearm until they finally got him. They found his daughter hiding by his side, and just like her father, they killed the child by emptying an entire M16 magazine into her body. It tore the 6-year-old girl in half. Social workers wrapped her body with newspaper and duct taped it together when she was placed in a casket. In Poblacion, Kulambugan, the MILF raided homes and businesses, looting whatever cash and heirlooms they can find. In one store, they pinned down a mother and her daughter and raped them side by side. As part of the retreat, the MILF rounded men, women, children, and tied them together like animals and used them as human shields to keep the military at bay. They marched them towards Lanao del Sur. After 2 kilometers, released the women and children. Marched further into Tangkal and then released the men. In Kauswagan, the MILF burned Barangay Takub to the ground and indiscriminately opened fire on all civilians. One of the victims was a leader of a senior citizens organization. He was alone in his home when the fighting erupted. Perhaps he was too old or too weak to run. He just locked his doors and stayed home. When the MILF broke down those doors, the elderly man tried to run and was quickly sprayed with bullets on the back. He was found face down with the back of his shirt shredded by bullet holes. These are just a few accounts of what happened when the MILF attacked Lanao del Norte in 2008. The 2008 MILF attack on Lanao del Norte resulted to more than 110,000 families evacuated. From the municipalities of Linamon and Kauswagan, they ran to Iligan City and were accommodated by Mayor Lawrence Cruz. In the towns of Bacolod and Maigo, they were ferried by Governor Leo Ocampo across Pangal Bay to Misamis Occidental. Those in Colombugan who had access to the Mucas port crossed the Pangal Bay by barge and were received in Osamis City by Mayor Aldong Parohinog. The MILF Central Committee, in response to the attack in Lanao del Norte, did not take responsibility and blamed loose command. This prompted the Arroyo government to file cases against responsible MILF commanders in which warrants of arrest were issued. This month, August 2017, marks the 9th year since the August 2008 MOA AD MILF attack in Lanao del Norte. Every year since that dreadful morning of August 8, I remind myself of the lives lost, the pain, and the suffering the MILF have inflicted on the people of Lanao del Norte. The 2008 attack of the MILF should never be forgotten. We should not forget how Lanao del Norte supported the peace agenda, yet still they attacked the province. We should not forget that they cunningly misinformed the AFP counterparts regarding their conduct of training exercises, yet in actuality, they were amassing their forces for a planned attack on Kauswagan and Colombugan. We should not forget that although their fight is with the government, they came down from the mountains with the objective to harm innocent civilians. Now that the administration is tackling the Bangsamoro Basic Law, Congress should start with this premise. Remember what happened to us in Lanao del Norte. Do not blindly trust the MILF Central Committee to have full control over their ground leaders and fighters. With that in mind, I ask that the security of Lanao del Norte be ensured to prevent another recurrence of an MILF attack while the 17th Congress deliberates the Bangsamoro Basic Law. For this purpose, I have filed 3 House resolutions in an attempt to ensure the safety and security of my constituents. First House resolution, directing the Armed Forces of the Philippines to maintain 5 battalions in Lanao del Norte for the period that the MILF are active in the Lanao region. What we've learned from OAD is that 2 battalions are not enough. The MILF were able to succeed because when 1 battalion was assigned to Lanao del Norte, the area of the province was too wide, making the battalion spread too thin. It was only when 5 battalions arrived in the province that we were able to push back and maintain the MILF in the boundary of Lanao del Norte and Lanao del Sur. Second House resolution, directing the Department of Transportation in coordination with the Philippine Air Force to convert the Balui Airport to an Air Force base to augment security forces in the Lanao region. The Balui Airport is an idle government facility. It was never used for commercial flights. I propose for the Department of Transportation to turn it over to the armed forces, specifically the Air Force, to further establish security in the Lanao region. Third House resolution, directing the Department of Justice to submit to the appropriate committee a copy of the cases filed against Abdullah Macapar, aka Commander Bravo, and his warrant of arrest in relation to the 2008 MILF attack in Lanao del Norte. Commander Bravo attacked Lanao del Norte and killed civilians outside the sanction of the MILF Central Committee. There is an apparent gray area in distinguishing a rebel commander and a mass murderer. This resolution seeks to give guidance to our security forces, the AFP and the PNP, and mandate them to do their duty and bring criminals at large to justice. In closing, Madam Speaker, in lieu of the President's SONA pronouncement and the opening message of our Speaker for our second regular session, that we take up the Bangsamoro Basic Law as priority legislation. I appeal to the 17th Congress to support my House resolutions and that Lanao del Norte be provided with ample security needed as we debate the content and constitutionality of the BBL. In the previous administration, the BBL was pushed by saying that the only alternative is war. Let us not let the MILF hostage Lanao del Norte and similar provinces with the concept of war as they demand we approve the BBL untouched, unamended. With these resolutions, should they bring war, we, the government, will be prepared to defend our peace-loving citizens. I place our experience of the MILF attack on Lanao del Norte in 2008 and my intent to have Lanao del Norte secured on record for the 17th Congress. Thank you, dear colleagues, Madam Speaker. May God guide us. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
This is Countryside News Channel, your official online and cable news channel, giving you the latest information from the province of Lanao del Norte. Countryside News Channel.